Time now for this hour's car review, 2025 Subaru Outback.
All right.
This is comes in these trim levels: base, premium, Onyx, limited, and touring. I was looking here on this and to find out where it's built, and it is built in Lafayette, Indiana.
All right.
I did not know that.
Local.
I had the Touring XT model, which is top of the line. This is a small SUV, or what some may refer to as a station wagon. It really is an SUV in the fact that if you want to throw in capability here, it is capable. Mm-hmm. The only thing that would keep it uncapable are the front and rear overhangs. They're a little bit on the long side in each. So if you're trying to go rock climbing or something like that, you're going to get the, so keep that in mind. No exterior changes from last model year. Exterior kind of looks like mom's do-all car. Nothing really stands out about it. It's not bad looking. It's nice looking, but it's just
nice.
A Subaru.
Yeah.
Low slung shape is deceiving because it does have the ability to go off-road. Longer front and rear overhangs, as I mentioned in here. Pardon me. Prevent some rock climbing ability, as I said. The sunshade is atop the rear glass. Blackout wheels give it a little attitude. What could use improvement? The oversized roof rack distracts from its sleek design. That's just me talking. The roof rack actually has the bows, if you will, that are collapsible into the roof rack.
Right.
That's why the roof rack's so high.
Yeah. Yep.
Interior highlights. Big infotainment screen is center point of an attractive dash, and functional dash as well. Seating is comfortable with leg room in the second row, which is kind of different because usually in a car this size you don't have much rear seat leg room. This one you do. Apple and Android connectivity. Material selection is great. Nice fit and finish throughout the interior. Cargo trunk room, because it's lower to the ground, loading and unloading from the hatch is a breeze. What I liked about it, I like the comfortable sitting position that you're in, the comfort overall, and the view, especially out the rear and out the rear quarters. What could use improvement? We did not like the multiple menus in the infotainment screen. They kind of go along with what Mazda's got going, and I think that they could go back to the drawing board. 2.4-liter turbocharged flat 4 in it. Turns out 260 horsepower, which is nice, 277 pound-feet of torque. And with the flat 4 in it, it has a lower center of gravity, so going around corners is pretty good. I mean, it's not some Indy sports car or something like that, but it works very well.
Good
CVT transmission, full-time all-wheel drive in this. Mileage, 22 city, 29 highway for a combination of 25. I got 26 miles per gallon over 349 miles. What I liked about it was the mileage on this is pretty good for its capability. What could use improvement? Some noticeable turbo lag. Transmission responds to the throttle. And it's not necessarily a smooth transition. Of course, I'm probably a little bit more aggressive than Mom would be going back and forth to the grocery store, but that's just me. Not trying to make excuses for it, but, my driving style is probably different than yours, or yours, or yours, or yours. Ride and handling was excellent. I don't think anything could use improvement for what this car is. Base trim price, $41,615. Prices tested, $44,325. But remember, this is top of the line. You can get in one of these for $28,895. As far as competitors are concerned, Kia Sorento starts at $33,365. The Toyota Venza is $36,446. The Bronco Sport starts at $29,995. We recommend the Wilderness trim in this particular because it's more off-roady appearance And it's got a different front trim on it as well. So you might want to consider that the wilderness trim. I liked it. Overall, I'm going to give it a B+. It's a pretty nice little vehicle, especially at the price and especially the starting price. And that's my review of the 2025 Subaru Outback.
Now, some of the shots we had, obviously it's got a little tow package on it because it was pulling a trailer. Also, the roof rack, it had the Yakima rack on it and a canoe in the beginning. So it's a good hauler. I mean, it seems to be a good camping
It's a
vehicle.
very capable off-roader, and that part of it surprised me. Because once I started looking into it and doing the research on it, it gets really high marks in off-roading ability. Mm-hmm. And you can't say that about every SUV. Just because it's an SUV. That's because it's sitting up higher off the ground, makes it very different. And this particular one sits lower to the ground. It's more car-like, but it works pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it couldn't have been a more perfect subject for this kind of day. It's beautiful.
What I do.
The sun is shining out here, but it is cold, brother.
And being the international correspondent for In Wheel Time.
The international correspondent.
Figured we get something going for this. Applies to all over the world.
Yeah, you're hot, man.
Oh, yeah.
And you're
You
hot.
ready?
You're hot.
Okay, well, here we go, Michael. It's all you. Humans use hot chocolate, coffee, tea, whiskey, chicken noodle soup. I got a friend of mine with a blow-up doll named Larry. In his
Did you bring any whiskey today?
No. What is an engine block heater? What does an engine block do? Types of engine blocks. An engine block heater is an electrical device designed to warm a part of the engine and or motor oil of the vehicle you're in. There are numerous types of engine block heaters. There are various methods to provide that heat to that engine. The purpose of an engine block heater is to heat the engine. By using the engine block heater in a cold climate, your car will start easier and use less energy. The engine block will receive its normal running temperature sooner than later. Okay, so we're going to get into the first one, and it's going to be a core frost freeze plug heater. This type of heater replaces an existing core plug, also commonly referred to as a freeze plug.
That looks like
or
one of those
frozen
things that you
plug.
put in the iced teacup.
Yeah, it could be the same principle. It directly heats the coolant with the engine using an element that sits in the coolant, and you can use your car's service manual to find the correct location for that plug. Next one we have is an engine warming blanket placed on top of the engine or attached to the underside of the hood.
I used that last night.
I know you did. An engine warming blanket disperses the heat across the entire engine block. The next one we have, and this is very popular, is an oil pan heater. This is more of a diaper type situation.
Yeah.
A heater is essentially an
I'm getting closer and closer to that every day.
automotive grade heating pad, Don, placed on the underside of an oil pan in different parts of the engine, typically attached with magnets or bolts, much like you do, to warm the pads and the oil and keep the oil inside nice and toasty. The next one we have is an actual dipstick heater. Now, my urologist has one of these. The heater replaces the dipstick with a long heating element that warms up the oil. That's what you guys are calling it now. Next one we have is an inline heater. It's circulating. Now, there's two types. There's a circulating and a non-circulating, which this device is actually both of them because it's the way you hook it up to the engine itself. An inline heater requires some work as they are spliced into the coolant hose. Circulating models use the existing pump to spread the heat and coolant through the system. On a non-circulating, it just splices into the coolant, and it only heats that area that is spliced into.
You got to have one of those.
You got to have one. The next one we have is a bolt-on external heater. A bolt-on external heater is attached
that would
directly,
be the colonoscopy
directly
part,
to the engine block, Don, and it heats it from the outside in. So it's outside in.
Yeah, we know about
There you
outside
go.
in.
Do you need an engine block heater? Generally, if you live in a climate where you're regularly temperatures below 10 degrees Fahrenheit, it's not a bad idea to have one. If you live in those temperatures that are rarely doing that, probably not. When should I plug in an engine block heater? About 3 to 4 hours before you actually want to use the vehicle. Use a timer to set it up. You know, like you have a light timer in your home. Use the same thing for the timer there. Do modern cars still need to be warmed up? If you're trying to warm up the inside of your vehicle, yes. If you've got a fuel-injected car, the vehicle, you're trying to protect your engine, not necessarily going to work. It's because of the way that modern cars are designed. So as for engine block heaters, they're a good idea if you're in that type of climate. But one warning I have, unplug it before you drive.
Whoop! I stretched that a little bit too
Martha?
tight.
Yeah, a little bit longer.
Martha.
cord.
Martha.
All right. Time now for this hour's car review. And I believe that Mr. Mars, at least he said he was going to review the GMC Sierra.
Well, that's because he's going to do the GMC Sierra.
Do you have the page pulled up there?
Yes, sir. The 2025 GMC Sierra Denali Ultimate HD.
Don't yell at me.
Well, I was just trying to make sure that Don could hear over there. You know.
What?
So it is the Sierra. It's the base thing. It comes in. Actually, there's 7 different trim levels, but when you get into the Denali, there's actually only 2 trim levels. And we had the Denali Ultimate, which is the top of the line for that particular brand of vehicle. Now, this is a full-size pickup truck. It's 5 passengers, 5 nicely roomed passengers. Got plenty of room. And on the outside of it, up front, you're going to find you've got LED lighting with automated projection headlamps. You got fog lights, tail lights. Got the grill logo actually lights up, and there's lighting in the cargo area, and it's all LED. It works really, really well. There is also a set of power assist steps. So when you come up to the truck and you get ready to step up in it, because it is an HD and you're going to have to step up, they come out. They're really quick. They're there when you want them.
Do they automatically drop, or you have to do it when the door opens?
No, they'll start dropping before you get the door open.
Cool.
Yeah, and they're quick. Now, we also had the trailer package, so we had some other things like the 5th wheel setup inside the bed. We had the power folding, heated, extending tow mirrors. Did you ever notice these guys that got these tow mirrors?
Yeah.
And sometimes they're extended when they're not towing? That's so they can see further back. It makes a difference, I found out. This particular vehicle, interestingly enough, has a set of 3,500 leaf springs underneath it with a 12-inch shock package and 342 gears, so it's really set up to do some towing. Now, like I said, the LED cargo area's got the cargo area has LED lighting in it as well. There's a power sliding rear view window, and it has the 6-way Pro tailgate, Pro adjustable tailgate. It's got the speakers in it and everything, and it looks really cool.
That one that you showed had lighting in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got that too. It's got speakers, and there's a lot of stuff in there. So you get to the inside of it. Of course, it's Denali. You're going to find you got leather seating. The front seats are heated and ventilated. The rear outboard seats are also heated, and that is a 60/40 folding rear seat. Got some storage that's built in underneath that. Up front, the driver has a 12.3-inch driver screen that's adjustable to figure out what you want to see on there as far as the vehicle goes.
Yeah.
13.4-inch touchscreen that's got your infotainment, your convenience controls, your surround view camera system in it. You also have a camera that you can look at the cargo bed to see what's back there. There's a lot of USB outlets, but they're all USB-Cs. Got a wireless phone charger, and the bed view camera I mentioned. There is a Bose Premium 12-speaker audio system with a subwoofer in it, and it gets really nice sounding.
Subwoofers are good.
So up under the hood of this particular vehicle, we had 6.6-liter V8 turbo diesel, 470 horsepower, 975 pound-feet of torque. Like I said, this thing is set up to tow. Allison transmission, 10-speed. Tow rating, properly equipped, 20,000 pounds. Haul rating, 3,048 pounds.
Wow.
Now, the curb weight on this vehicle, I've noticed it was 8,264 pounds, and it carries a 36-gallon fuel tank. Because
wow, that's big.
Now, the EPA does not give you a rating on this vehicle because they don't rate them, but I got 13.6 miles across 434 miles. So that 36-gallon tank gets put to use. It is a big truck. It's a big truck. It drives big. It rides big. One thing I've noticed about it that if you look down the side of it, the belt line, the hood is actually taller. So you actually, I feel like I sit down a little bit lower, and I keep trying to get up to look over the hood because the hood is taller than the rest of the truck. Now, there's plenty of room up in there, and if you're looking for something to compare this to, you're going to be looking at the Ram 2500, the Ford F-250, and the Chevrolet Heavy Duty. Now, a base vehicle, the base GMC Sierra, is $47,300. Now, that's a four-door double cab. Now, the base trim price, when you get up into the Denali, $92,800. Now, MSRP,
price as tested,
$96,830.
Hubba.
But now you go look at that Ram, and it starts at $42,270. It'll get up to $89. The F-250, $47, gets up to $100K easy in the Platinum. The Chevrolet Heavy Duty at $45 gets up to $71 real quick.
If I'm going to spend that kind of money, I want it all, baby.
Well, I think the Denali is going to just about give you all of it as far as capacity room. I mean,
Is that the diesel?
Yes, it's the big diesel, and it'll. I could see putting a fifth wheel behind that thing, and it's all there. I mean, it's all the mount's there. All you got to do is back it up and hook it up.
Yeehaw! Get ready for the rodeo, friends.
That's my review of the 2025 GMC Sierra Denali Ultimate Heavy Duty.
You can buy 2 Buicks.
Today's In Real